10th क्लास में सोशल साइंसेज में ये क्वेश्चंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। बट इसके अलावा भी अगर आप टॉपर बनना चाहते हैं तो एनसीईआरटी को जो है वर्ड टू वर्ड लाइन टू लाइन पढ़िए, और ज्योग्राफी के जो क्वेश्चंस हैं वो बनते हैं। ज्योग्राफी के जो क्वेश्चंस बनते हैं वो बनते हैं, हाउ इज पाइपलाइन ट्रांसपोर्ट नेटवर्क इंपॉर्टेंट इन दी ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम ऑफ इंडिया, एक्सप्लेन विद एग्जांपल्स। नेक्स्ट है, व्हाई इज द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर कंसिडर्ड द बैकबोन ऑफ अ कंट्रीज डेवलपमेंट। नेक्स्ट है, ब्रीफली डिस्क्राइब एनी टू नॉन कन्वेंशनल सोर्सेज ऑफ एनर्जी। नेक्स्ट है, व्हाई भूदान ग्रामदान मूवमेंट इनिशिएटेड बाय द विनोबा भावे इज कॉल्ड द ब्लडलेस रेवोल्यूशन। नेक्स्ट है, एक्सप्लेन द नर्मदा बचाओ आंदोलन। नेक्स्ट है, व्हाट इज बायोडाइवर्सिटी, व्हाई इज बायोडाइवर्सिटी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द ह्यूमन लाइव्स। नेक्स्ट है, डिस्क्राइब एनी थ्री फीचर्स ऑफ द ब्लैक सॉइल। नेक्स्ट है, व्हाई वाज द रियो डी जेनेरियो अर्थ समिट 1991 हेल्ड, what were the aims of the agenda 21 to achieve the global sustainable development। नेक्स्ट जो क्वेश्चन है वो ये है, यहाँ पे इकोनॉमिक्स में है, what is infant mortality rate, what is the literacy rate, what does literacy rate measures, explain the objectives of implementing MGNREGA, classify industries based on their economic activities with examples, what is collateral, write the impacts of the globalization। उसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है यहाँ पे हिस्ट्री के वो बनते हैं, इवेल्युएट द रोल ऑफ द ओटोवन बिस्मार्क इन द यूनिफिकेशन ऑफ जर्मनी, व्हाई डिड द नॉन कोऑपरेशन मूवमेंट ग्रेजुअली स्लो डाउन इन द सिटीज़, explain, describe the impact of printer paste in the Africa in the 1890s। Next, explain the role of women in spreading the print culture in India during the 19th century। Next, which two problems were faced by the cotton weavers in India। Next, describe the impact of the First World War on the Indian industries। Next, political science से questions यहाँ पे बनते हैं, how has the idea of power sharing emerged, explain the different forms that have common arrangement of the power sharing, describe any three characteristics of distribution of power between the center and the states in India। Next, explain any two provisions that make India a secular state। Next, why has India adopted a multi-party system। Next, transparency is not important feature of democracy, support the statement। ठीक है, अब इसके अलावा और भी क्वेश्चंस जो बनते हैं वो बनते हैं, सॉरी, गिव अ ब्रीफ डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग क्रॉप्स, इनका मंथ, रेनफॉल, इंपोर्टेंट सॉइल स्टेट सब बताना है, मिलेट्स, राइस, वीट, पल्सेस, टी, लीव्स, शुगर केन, कॉफी, इन सब का बताना है। एक्सप्लेन डिफरेंट रिफॉर्म्स इनिशिएटेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट फॉर द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एग्रीकल्चर। Write in the brief about the Rabi and Kharif crops in India, how agriculture and industries interdependent on each other, differentiate between the subsistence farming and commercial farming, write in detail about the Bhudan Gramdan movement, what are the ideal conditions under which minerals may be mined, promotion of energy conservation is an important plank of sustainable energy, explain the statements with examples, how is energy a basic requirement for the economic development of a country, explain with examples, discuss main features of aluminium, discuss various forms of iron ore found in India, why do we need to conserve the minerals resources, differentiate between the conventional and non-conventional sources of energy, discuss the main features of the following industries, cotton, textile industry, jute, textile, sugar cane industry, differentiate between the following basic industries and consumer industries, agro based industries and mineral based industries, small scale industries and large scale industries, public sector and private sector industries, why does the Chota Nagpur Plateau region have the maximum concentration of iron ore, steel industries, give reason, write in brief the importance of IT sector, the manufacturing sector is considered the backbone of the development of the country, why are the maximum jute industries concentrated in the Hooghly basin। उसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है वो क्या है यहाँ पे, explain the role of romanticism in national feeling, what were the Neolithic code, how had they evolved to the regions under the French control, briefly explain the process of unification of Italy, describe any three conditions that led to the formation of the British nation state, describe the main causes of the Treaty of Vienna 1815, what kind of conservative regimes were set up in 1815, what did liberals think about them, how nationalism aligned with the imperialism became the cause of the First World War, how had the female figures become an allegory of the nation during the 19th century in Europe, culture had played an important role in the development of nationalism in Europe during the 18th and 19th century, support the statement with examples, what conditions of the Balkans areas led to the World War First, and how did ideas of national unity in early 19th century Europe ally the ideology of liberalism, explain how did Greek War of Independence mobilize the nationalist feeling amongst the educated elite across the Europe, why did Gandhi decided to launch nationalist satyagraha against the Rowlatt Act 1919, explain region, briefly explain the incident of Jallianwala Bagh massacre and its effects on the Punjab, what were the impacts of non-cooperation movements, also explain the causes reasons for the slowing down of the non-cooperation movement, how did the colonized civil represents the civil disobedience movement, explain, describe the participation of the rich and poor peasants communities in the civil disobedience movement। then उसके बाद जो next है वो क्या है, who had organized the Dalits into the Depressed Classes Association in 1930, describe his achievements, how did a variety of cultural process play an important role in making of national nationalism in India? Explain with examples. Why did Mahatma Gandhi decided to call off the civil disobedience movement? Explain. How did the First World War create a new economic and political situation in India? Explain with examples. The civil disobedience movement was different from the non-cooperation movement. Support this statement with examples. Why did the different social groups join the civil disobedience movement? Explain. How did a large number of new readers among the children, women and workers increase in the 19th century Europe? Explain with examples. Print played a significant role in awakening sentiments of nationalism amongst the Indians. Explain the statement. Three of the caste discrimination began to written about in many printed texts and essays in the late 19th century in India. Support the statements with examples. So this is done.